Today we're gonna make some cassava porridge. Now, I know typically when you're making porridge, it's things like cornmeal, your flour porridge and that kind of thing. But I find like using provision to make porridge is a real nice way of using provision, other than, just boiling it and eating it with peas and that kind of thing, or meat, or putting it in soup. I find having provision for breakfast using things like cassava and arrows and things is a real nice thing. And what I'm doing today is incorporating, I want to call it, different things from travels, different things from different shoots that I pick up along the way. So definitely this cassava porridge is something that I picked up in Café Mariposa when we did that shoot. The ladies at Café Mariposa had a real best cassava porridge. For me, using bitters in things like porridge and things that's really take me back to childhood, because one of the first ways I used to see my mother and my grandmother using Angostura Aromatic Bitters is in porridge and grapefruit juice. If you know, you know. It's a real Trini thing. You're making a mug of grapefruit juice, you throw 2 dash of bitters in it. You're making some porridge, you throw some bitters in it. And that just give it, that whole local flavor. So today we're doing that. And I have this South American sapote that I got from La Vega. I'm gonna use that in the porridge as well. And I have this long time grater that I bought in Brazo Seco, and I'm gonna be using that as well. So yeah, little things that I pick up here and there about the place, we're incorporating all that into this recipe. So without further ado, let me get into it one time. So the first thing I wanna do is peel the cassava and grate it. Now, if you don't have a grater like this, you're not fortunate like me to go Brazo Seco and get this long time grater, then you could use a regular box grater, or you could use, if you have a high powered blender, you could use that as well, pour water in it and you could blend up your cassava. But today, I'm doing it the traditional way and I'm using this long time grater. The thing is, when you see this grater, it's real dangerous. It's a thing where you could cut up your knuckles and thing on it. So you want to be careful when you're using this. It's not for the faint at heart. Right, so the first things first, I want to peel the cassava. And of course, depending on how much porridge you're making, is how much cassava you would use, right? So I'm just making enough for 2 here. So I'm using this like a half a pound, I would say. Estimate about half pound of cassava here. Now, for the real part here, the grating. Again, you want to be careful doing this. All you see in that and your knuckles, trust and believe, that is pain. Like hospital thing, not really hospital, but that is some pain. Yeah, you're grating too while on this and your knuckles come in contact with that. No bueno, we didn't want that. So you really want to take your time using a grater like this. But the reason why I'm using this grater is because it does give you a real nice texture, a real nice fine texture when you're grating like cassava and that kind of thing. So let me get into this. I find this perform better than a box grater, a regular box grater. So you see what I'm talking about in terms of the texture that you get from this grater. It's not like a regular box grater where you get like these long strands, but it's almost like it is grated into a very fine texture, almost kind of pulpy. And this is real good for this kind of application because we want a kind of smooth porridge. If you could get your hands on a grater like this, I think you could get in the market. You don't have to go to Brazo Seco for something like this. You could get it in Central Market for sure. I think Miss Joyce does have it. Or if you check the Namdevco Market in the Queen's Park Savannah, you should be able to get a grater like this traditional long time provision grater. Real good for coconut as well. Right, so now we have our cassava, and there's about 3/4 cups of grated cassava ready for our porridge. So we go on to the next step. So next I want to prep this South American sapote. Now I know that this is not the type of fruit that you will find readily available all over the place. So, I mean, don't beat up if you don't have this. You could always use things like mango, whatever fresh fruit that you could get your hands on, you know, you could incorporate into this dish. And we don't need a lot of it. It's just to add, as I say, you know, some fresh fruit to the porridge. And of course, all the additional, not just flavor, but health benefits that you would get from adding fresh fruit to your porridge. All right, so to get our porridge starting, I'm going in with 2 cups of coconut milk. Now, if you have no problem dealing with dairy, then go ahead and use your cow's milk, your goat milk, whatever. But I man don't really deal up in the dairy now, so coconut milk for me. You could use almond milk as well. And an ingredient that is extremely important to any kind of porridge or cereal is salt. If you don't add salt, you will not get all the different flavors or the spices and that kind of thing that you're adding to the porridge coming out. So you want to add a pinch of salt to taste to your porridge. All right, of course, you know, bay leaf is bay, so we got to go in with some bay leaf. Add a piece of cinnamon stick in there as well. 3 grains of whole clove. And we're grating a little bit of nutmeg in there as well. And then a little bit of tonka bean in there. Nice. Now I added in the grated cassava. Give it another mix. And of course, when I add a couple dashes of Angostura Aromatic Bitters, just like Granny used to make it. And as you can see, it's already starting to thicken. It's almost like you're making fufu. And the cassava is going to cook with all these spices, the aromatic bitters and all that. Gonna make it real nice and flavorful. So I'm gonna lower the heat and then allow this to continue cooking for about 8 to 10 minutes. And I wanna stir it occasionally. Make sure that the cassava is cooked evenly. About 8 minutes later, cassava looking like it's cooked. See how nice and thick that is? But I prefer my porridge to be a little more runny than this, so I add in another cup of water. Give that a good mix. And I know you might be asking, but wait now, he didn't put no sugar in the thing yet. What we're gonna do is make a kind of quick compote with the sapote, and that is going to add our sweet element to the porridge. All right, so to make our compote with the sapote, I'm going in with a 1/4 cup of water, adding 1 tablespoon of sugar, and adding in our South American sapote. And to enhance the flavor here, I'm going in with a couple dashes of the Angostura Orange Bitters. And I'll give it a nice citrus kick. It'll be a nice addition to our porridge. Layers of flavor we're dealing with, layers of flavor. Give it a little stir. And we're gonna let this cook until it starts to reduce. Then we're gonna turn it off and then put all of it together. Our porridge with the compote, it's gonna be real nice. Real nice. Alright, the only thing left to do now is to eat, so fixing myself a bowl. Smell like granny kitchen long time. Add in our Sapote Compote on top. And let me tell you something. This breakfast right here, you know, this is our best breakfast. I mean, I had a shout out Café Mariposa for the inspiration. I had a shout out Mr. Manning from La Vega for the fruits. Shout out to the folks at Brasso Seco for the grater. All my travels combined in one dish here. So this is a real nice way of enjoying provision that a little off the beaten path. I mean, we regularly add cassava to probably soup, or you have it with your stew peas or your stew meat and that kind of thing, or with kalaloo. But for me, having cassava or Edo's dasheen and that kind of thing for breakfast is a real good alternative to your regular cornmeal or regular cereal. You know, is utilizing what we have here locally in a different way. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and give it a share. If you do try the recipe, make sure to take a photo and tag us on social media. We'd love to see it. And thanks to Angostura Aromatic Bitters and Angostura Orange Bitters for adding some great flavor to this dish. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.